Hey, Amber.
They saw my tum-tum!
The moon landing didn't happen.
Are you actually gonna wear that?
Okay, fine. You're the queen of lolcows. Well done, you.
Did she spray Pam on the food?
That ass, though.
You're lolcows. That's what you guys do. So I put on my headphones and I cranked the volume way up in that section. And I heard what Krystle said. Hey folks, what's good? I'm your Game Master Deets. And today we're going to review the results of the latest edition of the Gorl Games, Destiny Calling. In a previous edition of the Gorl Games, we looked back on the last few months of the Krystle era and what Amberlynn's life was like leading up to the breakup. So this time around, we're going to be reviewing the time after Krystle broke up with her, but before Destiny came to get her to start their new era together. So the questions in the quiz today went right up until the video where Destiny knocked on Krystle's door. Okay, so before we dig into the quiz results, as always, I'll offer some insight and context into this very narrow time period, so we can get a good grasp on where Amber's head was at, what her motives were, and I don't know, I guess check in with her persona change between the two eras. Also, I'll review some of the answers to the bonus question at the end of the quiz, which was, what lessons, good or bad, do you think Amber took away from her time living with Krystle and her family? So be sure to stick around for that because we definitely got some interesting answers to that question. All right, as always, I'll include some timestamps in the description below if you want to skip directly to a specific section of this video. All right, ready? Let's set the scene. Needless to say, this was an awkward transitional time for sure. Amber wasn't uploading as often as she had been, you know, probably for a couple different reasons over this short 2 months.
I have not been vlogging at all.
At first, her ego was, still hurting from the narcissistic injury of being broken up with.
I'm just going through a lot of emotions that I can't even wrap my head around whatsoever. I highly doubt it's something you guys want to constantly hear about.
Krystle had all but disappeared from her videos. Sometimes you'd see her slinking around in the background, avoiding the lens. But honestly, I just think that she was leaving the house as often as she could. Leaving Amber behind to be boring without her.
I've been busy just spending it with Krystle's parents. Didn't get much filming done. I'm currently feeding the animals. You eating your food? They're too spoiled. And of course, Ringo. Why are you so spoiled, baby? No. I feel really bad that I didn't film much today. It's going on almost 7 o'clock, so my dog's doggy dessert dish is completely empty. I'm gonna fill it up for him. I'm gonna put some duck and sweet potato in there, and turkey and pumpkin.
For the first time in 3.5 years, Krystle didn't feel forced to spend 24 hours a day with Amberlynn. And so I really do hope that she was taking advantage of that freedom. Amber's weight had become a big focus for her, even though she kept saying it wouldn't be.
I haven't been counting calories. I haven't been eating healthy.
Unfortunately, she had gained so much weight at this point that the scale was no longer reading her weight, and she was just getting an error.
I did weigh myself yesterday for those of you who follow my weight loss journey. The scale read error. So one of my goals this week is when I step on the scale next week, I want the scale to read me, so I want to lose enough pounds for that to happen. 2, carrots are super, super good for you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I really, really think I can do this.
But then she would be feeling down and told her viewers she no longer wanted to talk about her failures online. And she was trying to work on herself off camera instead.
I just woke up, as most can tell, because my face is always swollen when I first wake up.
I wanted to film something really quick before I hop in the shower. As you guys know, I am obese. I'm trying to lose weight. I don't want to call it a diet. I don't call it a diet anymore. I want to call it a lifestyle change. I can't be on something that I can't do for the rest of my life. I'm young. So I can't imagine myself forever counting out carrot sticks.
Carrots are super good for you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I have been doing a lot of healing on the inside. I have been healing off of camera. I have been talking about my emotions off of camera. I used to do a lot of talking with Amberlynn videos, but I'm completely shying away from those. I'm purely doing vlogs. I no longer want to come on here with long spewing mistakes, confessing my mess ups. It's not about that anymore. I need to figure out things I need to do to fix my health, to become more active. And as you guys know, I do have a binge eating disorder. I'm not healed from that whatsoever. I'm trying my hardest to fix myself in ways that are private, talk myself away from binge eating a lot, look more so into my head. Do I need to eat this?
Then after that, there's a whole lot of nothing for a while.
I just got out of the shower. I figured I would just make a small vlog today. Like, why not? I really don't vlog like I used to. I really want to start vlogging again. I enjoy vlogging. You guys enjoy watching them. Vlogging is a really big part of my life. I just don't know what to vlog anymore. Like, I don't know.
Amberlynn posted very sporadically.
Don't mind my cat ears. As you guys remember last Christmas when I bought them, like, I haven't worn them in so long, but I decided to wear them today. I have not been vlogging at all. A lot of you are like, I miss your vlogs. I want you to vlog again. I'm sad when I go on your page and I don't see a vlog. I feel really bad about that.
And when she did, it was usually some random clips that she'd managed to string together haphazardly.
I probably haven't vlogged for like 2 weeks, to be honest. I do have random clips that I never uploaded, so I'm just gonna put them in this video right now. I will see you guys in a couple of minutes. Hello everybody. Right now I'm just getting ready for the day. I just did my makeup. There's a puddle the size of Texas, and I usually have to walk over there to get to the car, which is right there, and Krystle's gonna pull out for me in the road. Okay, I knew Red Lobster. Krystle's about that life. Ruby Tuesdays, Ryan's. They all start with R's. Olive Garden, Quaker Steak and Lube. Oh my. Are you ready?
Well, tell me then.
Oh, I was gonna show them to you. Okay. I have Mexico restaurant, Indian restaurant, Japanese steakhouse, O'Charlie's, and Chili's. We didn't put a single one the same, which is very funny. We're gonna somehow like figure out a way to do process of elimination. There I am, in the reflection. Alright, I've only eaten here once before, so it was a bit ago. I'm so hungry. Bloop, bloop. Don't mind my little friend visiting, please. Look at them dark clouds. I got a chicken sandwich, and yes, I eat my fries with a fork. Don't hate.
And she knew it. You know, it felt like every time she posted, she apologized for not posting. And then posted boring content. Rinse, repeat, you know. She did manage a couple of Q&As during this time. She answered a few questions about her breakup with Krystle, as well as her plans for the future. Although, for the most part, she was being pretty cryptic about her new relationship.
Krystle and I moving on with our lives, where I'm gonna be going, and I'm trying to get that all planned. I will definitely be sharing that with you guys because that's gonna be a really big part of my life. As for if I will still be vlogging, I'm gonna try. YouTube is like my passion, obviously. I really just love making videos for you guys. As for where I'm going, who I'm going with, why, all those types of questions, I will be answering just in another video when the time is closer. I guess that's because I don't feel like sharing that yet. Last year for me has been incredibly hard, you know, relationship wise.
She kept Destiny's name under wraps for a while, surprisingly. You know, only dropping hints here and there about the fact that she was seeing someone new. But we're gonna get into that a bit more in the questions, so just hold on that for a moment.
I never expected these last 2 months to take such a crazy turn. I literally feel like I'm dreaming.
She did mention that, you know, she was going to move to Florida.
As of right now, I am moving to Florida the beginning of July. I can't even like wrap my head around the whole situation at all. It's absolutely crazy to me. I am so beyond nervous that every day my stomach is literally in knots.
But she didn't say with who.
I will tell you guys all about who I will be living with, where we will be living, what we will be doing. I just feel like right now, I don't really want to like go into like too many details.
There was one day that she claimed that she'd been on FaceTime for, I think it was 8 hours. You know, once again, she just didn't give any more detail than that.
I haven't vlogged like at all for the rest of the day or night. I was on FaceTime for like 8 hours. Like, what? Well, I was on FaceTime probably from 6 p.m. and right now it is almost 2 a.m. so
But then, around mid-May, about a month and a half before Destiny would arrive, okay? You definitely could start to see a change in Amber. You know, that smugness started to come back. And there was a bit of a new Destiny era persona that was starting to shine through. I think by then, she'd spent enough time on calls and FaceTimes with Destiny, you know, that she was getting to know her new mask. It was subtle, but it was there. And right about this time, we got our very first Destiny reveal on a FaceTime. And of course, Amber still managed to disrespect Krystle. Watch this clip. I can't.
What do you want me to talk about?
it's recording. See, Krystle don't like being on camera, but you're gonna be all about that life, huh?
The camera loves me.
Oh, yes. Look at you, all cute and shit.
Did you hear Krystle in the background? Because I didn't at first. But when I grabbed this clip, I thought I heard her say something. It was really faint. So I put on my headphones and I cranked the volume way up in that section. And I heard what Krystle said. God. Amber spoke over the last bit of her sentence, but it was there. Amberlynn had swung the camera right on Krystle's face in that moment after Amber so rudely said, you know,
See, Krystle don't like being on camera, but you're gonna be all about that life, huh?
such a way with words she has. Krystle then said, very quietly,
Look at you.
I still have been doing so, clearly. Oh my God. Listen closely. I'm sorry, I'm not like a sound engineer and it's the best I can do. I'm sure someone else could do it better, but it is there.
Look at you.
Got that? Krystle is finally standing up for herself. However Krystle felt in that moment, even if her excitement to be rid of Amber was strong, I still say it does not excuse Amber's behavior. What was she, 23 or so at this point? Here she was, still living in Krystle's house, being supported by Krystle's parents, and just walking around, talking loudly at her phone about how much happier she was going to be once she was with Destiny. Oh man, in my opinion, so rude, and so totally inappropriate. You know, and once again, it just goes to show that all her love for this family, it was just a performance. You know, one that she was tired of, had moved on from, and forgot that maybe she should have kept up with until she left. But no, someone who doesn't actually care about anyone but herself would never realize just how rude that was.
The jerk store called. They're running out of you.
And you know what? I actually wouldn't be surprised if Amberlynn was doing it to try to make Krystle jealous. Forget about being grateful for the life that Krystle and her family provided Amber with for, 3.5 years. Instead, she should be punished for breaking up with Amber, obviously, for having the gall to ruin Amber's plans of being taken care of with unending funds for the rest of her life. It only served to prove to Krystle that she had made the right decision. This right here is childish, narcissistic, entitled behavior. Point blank, period. But hey, the one thing that did lighten the mood as I was, going through all this footage was finding this set of 2 comments on one of the videos 3 years ago. We've got Jimmy Bunker himself saying, "Mr. Snowflake sent me." And Mr. Snowflake responds, "Oh my god, I did not expect to find you here. Are you actually doing research?" These 2 gems of an Easter egg. It's what I needed on a dark day of history lessons. Fantastic. Fantastic work, you two. And before we knew it, Amber was packing. And I think that's a great spot to leave off and jump in to the quiz results.
And now, the Game Show Network presents...
So let's dig in to the quiz now. And remember, these questions all took place after the breakup video, right up until before Destiny showed up at Krystle's parents' house. Okay, question number 1. In a video titled Grandma Day, Amber and Krystle pick up Krystle's grandma and go shopping. What does Amberlynn try on while they're out? The options here were glasses, scarves, bracelets, or hats. 46.3% of people said it was glasses, 27.6% said scarves, 22% said hats, and 4.1% went with bracelets. This one, it's straightforward enough, so let's just cut to the footage to find out the answer.
Krystle and I are about to go pick up her grandma, my grandma. We're gonna take her grocery shopping, so drink all my water, refilled it, coming prepared. All these glasses are super tiny looking. Whoa. Everything looks like I'm drunk. Hello. And now I look like a librarian. I look like a librarian.
Glasses it was, but I just want to point this out because Amber refers to Krystle's grandma as her grandma in that video.
Pick up her grandma, my grandma.
And I feel like this is just, they're broken up at this point. Like, the fact that she's calling Krystle's grandma her grandma at this point in time, I'm having trouble getting past it. That's all. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. The first time Amberlynn attempts going to an OA meeting, she can't find it. So she and Krystle go here instead. The options were Starbucks, Wegmans, Walmart, or a sushi restaurant. 49.6% of people said sushi restaurant, 22.8% said Walmart, 21.1% went with Starbucks, and the rest went to Wegmans. The OA Chronicles. To be honest, I was actually a bit surprised at the amount of effort, at least feigned effort, that Amber put into this. Just think about the amount of effort that Amber has put into some things just to make it look like she was going to follow through on them. Like, what if she had put that effort into actually making changes in her life?
This girl right here is crazy nervous. It is raining really hard. My hair and everything, I'm just a complete mess. We can't find the meeting because this church is big and there's like a bunch of buildings and John Paul houses. I have no idea. And they said come here. No one's answering. I've been like running in the rain for like a half an hour or plus, right? I'm exhausted. This is not what I was expecting whatsoever, so I'm pretty upset. An hour later, after talking to tons of people who have no idea what I'm talking about, I have like leaves on me. Oh my god. They have no idea. They're like, oh, maybe it's over there. I'll go talk to her. I cannot find a single OA meeting here. My necklace is literally soaking wet. My clothes, if you guys literally had to wear my shoes right now, you'd be disgusted. It wasn't supposed to rain like this. The newscast did not say it was supposed to rain today, so this was unexpected. It was raining extremely hard. It was beautiful at first, and then it just became ugly when I had to walk to like 50 different buildings because there was no way to like drive a car. I literally feel like crap right now. I was really looking forward to this. I was honestly excited to just get some help. I have no idea what just happened. A higher power clearly isn't on my side today. After everything's all said and done, I spy a piece of a rainbow. We went to Walmart. We got 2 of these cookie dough Arctic Zero ice creams and 2 of the chocolate peanut butter. This is literally like 150 calories for the whole thing, and this one's like 300. A fat-free milk, some coconut strips, dried mango. I think dried mango is one of my favorite foods ever. These South Beach whipped peanut butter bars. We put them in the freezer and have them frozen and they taste so good. And I saw this necklace and couldn't pass it up. But Krystle's car will not defog.
4 pints of ice cream. And a bunch of other snacks on top of that. After not going to an OA meeting. That is wild. The irony seems lost on Amber as she tells us all the things that they're buying at Walmart. Fun fact though, Amber did end up going to a meeting a week later. For real, she did.
I just got out of the meeting. I got my little chip for attending. I also got a bunch of pamphlets. It was Krystle and I and 3 others. I wasn't expecting to read or anything, but I decided to read. Felt comfortable there, but not comfortable enough in my own skin to share anything. As you guys can tell, my cheeks are so red. They're like purple looking. So embarrassing.
You know, I'm pretty sure she's never been back since. So, ultimately, I guess OA just wasn't what Amber was hoping it would be. Let's move on. After getting a note from someone on Ask FM saying that she's quit literally everything she's started, Amberlynn decides to do a new challenge. What is it? 30 days of weigh-ins, 7 days of counting calories, 10 days of working out, or 15 days of daily vlogs. Most people, with 42.3%, went with 30 days of weigh-ins. 21.1% said 15 days of daily vlogs. 20.3% said 10 days of working out. And 16.3% went with 7 days of counting calories. Isn't it just amazing how many people were calling Amber out, even in the early days? You know, today, currently, she likes to rewrite history to say that reaction channels are the ones who started Hater Nation. But no, Amber, reaction channels wouldn't have even had a chance at becoming popular if there weren't already a bunch of people who saw through your actions, your empty promises, and had just, lost patience with you. It's wild how successful Amber has been in convincing her newer followers how innocent she is, in this world that she has created for herself. Alas, here we are. Let's see what happened back then with this question.
I have not successfully counted calories in quite a few months. If I actually counted calories tomorrow and succeeded, I would be so shocked. I want to take that person's message and really take their advice and their constructive criticism, whether it was nice or rude. I'm going to use it. I'm going to start counting calories, and I want to be successful for 7 full days. I noticed some of you counting calories for 7 days is literally like breathing. Super easy, probably not that hard, kind of comes second nature. For me, it's going to be like pulling teeth. It's going to be horrible. It's gonna be hard. I really want to do this though, and I wanted to let you guys know. I will definitely keep you guys updated. I will be weighing myself tomorrow. I cannot promise you that you will know a weight. Last time I weighed myself, the scale did say error.
7 full days of counting calories. She really set the bar high on this one. Gotta give it to her. It's a little bit more, maybe more achievable than her usual, 100 days of this, 30 days of that. But, was she able to complete this challenge and prove this anonymous user wrong? Let's see her check in after this.
Bam! I wrote in here some private goals that I have for myself that I don't feel like sharing. But as you guys know, one of my goals was to count calories for a full week, 7 days, not go over. Today, I kind of just want to answer if I even made it through the first day, which was today. I started off the day very well. I did really well in the middle of the day and at the end of the night. I was eating fruits, vegetables, really healthy meals, and I tracked everything. I weighed everything. My fitness pal is a savior, but my body literally craves binging. My body craves it so much that I literally feel it in my bones, soul, heart, brain. My cells feel it. It gets really powerful, and sometimes you're just not strong enough. I did want an extra snack. Krystle was going downstairs, so I said, hey, will you get me an extra snack? If she would have done that, I would have been over my calories. She looked at me and said, do you really want to do this? Because she knows my goal is to count my calories and not go over. By her doing that, she helped me completely. And guess what?
I didn't go over my calories. I didn't go over my calories. I did it. I'm actually really proud.
I know it's only been 1 day. 1 day for me is like 100 for you. Willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
And then, after this little check-in, I don't know, I guess her willpower muscle didn't get enough protein.
Protein is super important.
Because she didn't mention this challenge again. So, your guess is as good as mine, but I think that no news is bad news in this case. Number 4. When Amberlynn and Krystle play with some dollar store clay, Amberlynn makes all of the following except sushi, a cat, a braid, or a dog. 34.1% of people said dog, 31.7% said sushi, 22.8% went with braid, and 11.4% said cat. Well, I guess this is a pretty straightforward one again, so let's just roll the tape.
And then over here, I don't know if you guys can even guess what this is, but it's supposed to be sushi. We have the orange for the fish eggs, white for rice. This is the seaweed. This is like crab and shrimp, avocado. I don't know. It looked better in my head. Krystle has made an adorable cat, a hot dog, and a hamburger that I'm about to chow down on. And then I made a kitty. That's a bow. Krystle's getting all kinds of creative. We have a muscle man, a candy cane, and a pig snout. What is this?
A frog on a lily pad.
And a frog
On a lily pad.
on a lily pad. Her last one is a cookie. She tried to use every single one of the colors that came in her packet. I broke my stuff and I used my cat's ear. I don't have half of what I did have. I didn't even use these yet. Barely used pink, and pink's my favorite color. If you have an iPhone, this is the poop emoji. Look how cute! Oh my god, I just want to keep him as a pet. I also made a braid. Krystle stabbed the world. Uh-oh. Now we have clay poop.
All right, well, dog it is. While I do appreciate a creative project, sincerely, as an artist myself, I can also see this being a good way for Krystle just to, get through a day with Amber. This was her 20-something-year-old ex, living in her home, not going anywhere, not going to a job, and Krystle just had to get through each day, So looking at it that way, I kind of get this a little bit more, to be honest. All right, next question, number 5. What does Amber go to the emergency room for in April of 2015? Chest pain? back pain, gallbladder pain, or knee pain. All of which she has complained about in the past. Although 54.5% of people did go with gallbladder pain, so we'll see. But there was also 26.8% with back pain, 11.4% with chest pain, and 7.3% went with knee pain. I mean, seriously, the timing on this is pretty uncanny. You know, with her most recent trips to the emergency room, sure is interesting to see that she hasn't changed a bit. Also, in case you were wondering, no, this is most definitely not the first time that Amberlynn went to the ER when she was living with Krystle and her parents. That's why I had to specifically put April of 2015, just to make it very clear. All right, let's go find out what this trip was all about.
I am having gallstone attacks again. I'm also having some other symptoms that I don't really feel like sharing. It's really making me nervous. Your attacks get worse. Your gallstones get worse. Your gallstone will go into your intestine and it will go to your liver. I do not want that to happen to me, you guys. I literally am terrified. Krystle's about to take me to the ER. I'm insanely nervous. Last time I went, they told me next time I come from gallbladder pain, they're taking my gallbladder out. I just got done doing all kinds of crying because of how nervous I am. I don't know what they're gonna say this time. Last time I went there, it was like 2 years ago or a little over. I'm scared I'm gonna die on the table. I need to go though. I'm tired of living in fear to lose weight. I'm absolutely tired of it. I want to be normal again. I'm tired of feeling sick. I'm tired of feeling the pain. I want to lose weight fast. I really do. I want to be healthy. I just got out of the hospital. I'm actually leaving grateful, happy, relieved, and I have a lot more knowledge on my gallbladder and my gallstones. I did not get surgery and I'm not getting surgery, which I'm actually kind of happy about. They said they'd only do surgery on me if my gallbladder was infected, and they said it was not infected at all. I'm really happy it's not infected because I was nervous that it was. And the fact that it isn't just makes me feel really relieved.
So, she really hasn't changed, has she? Afterwards, she went to IHOP.
It's 1 a.m. right now. We got there at 5 p.m. and we're leaving at 1 a.m. I haven't even eaten half of my calories for today because I barely ate anything all day long. I don't feel like cooking at 1 a.m., especially because Krystle's parents are sleeping and they have to wake up for work super early. They actually have to wake up at 3 a.m. I don't want to be making a bunch of racket downstairs. We're gonna go to IHOP and I'm gonna choose a meal that fits into my calories because I'm not going over. I promised you guys I wouldn't, and I'm still succeeding in that promise. I'm starving. I haven't eaten since 4.
Last week, she went to Denny's after her little jaunt to the ER. I seriously can't with Amberlynn. Actually, my last members only video was about this topic because it really is something that hits close to home for me as someone, you know, with an autoimmune disease, as someone who has seen the inside of an emergency room many times and will unfortunately continue in my future. It's just hard for me to watch. All right, calm down. In her recent videos, you know, she has really been putting in the work to claim that she really needed to be there. But no, I'm sorry. As I just mentioned, as someone who actually has needed to go to the ER many times in my life, not once have I ever had the thought, the interest, or even, honestly, the ability to go to a fast food restaurant the minute that I leave the ER. You cannot convince me that someone who is actually really sick, you know, who feels so unwell that they need to go to the emergency room, all of a sudden feels so hungry they can't wait to eat and instead goes to IHOP or Denny's or wherever for some greasy food. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm not a doctor. This is just my personal opinion. But she's done this more than one time, and from where I sit, it sure does look that Amber is wasting the time and effort of the medical staff at emergency rooms, and has been for many years. You know what, for just a moment, let's also think about the bigger picture here. Because this sudden gallbladder pain came on when exactly? Oh, right, just after she'd been broken up with, and she was nursing her ego. And also, you know, we'll talk about this in the next question, actually, but she was also applying for jobs. And do I 100% know for a fact that her job search and her gallbladder attack are related? No, I do not. I'm just pointing out the timing here. Another interesting point to contemplate here was that, You know, she was just called out for not following through on any of her goals. So, did she need something to blame? I don't know. Just something to think about. And the thing is, you know, I'm definitely not the only one with questions. Even one of her babies a decade ago showed up in the comments to ask her about her visit to the ER. One of them even mentioning the fact that it didn't seem like Amber had been in much pain at all. And Amber being Amber, well, she didn't answer very kindly. Surprise, surprise. Next question. In one video, Amber talks about how she was applying to a few different jobs and went here in person to fill out their hiring assessment. The options were Target, Starbucks, Panera, or Walmart. 75.6% of people went with Walmart, 17.9% said Target, only 4.1% said Panera, and 2.4% went with Starbucks. Let's find out if the majority of you were correct.
I filled out some applications to try to get a job. I called around trying to see if they even got the application. I called Walmart and I'm not even in their system. And I'm like, what? They want me to go to Walmart to fill out the application, I guess. We're on our way to go do that. Walmart Hiring Center. I have to sit in this little stool. Okay. Ready, set, go. It is so hot in here. How is it possible that the car feels this hot like a sauna, but it's cold outside? I just did my application and you guys will never ever guess how long it took me. I was so precise. I thought it was just like an application. Here comes this quiz slash test slash assessment full of 65 in-depth questions. I should have been studying for this. I was really nervous. It said that it will tell me if I pass or fail. If I failed, I won't be able to do another application for Walmart for 2 full years. So I did the 65 questions and I passed. I was so flippin' happy, you don't even know. The whole situation took me over 3 hours. They said they'll contact me via email. There was a girl in there who said that she didn't get called back for a whole year. I have done a few other applications for other places, but they were so short and just mediocre. If it was my choice, Walmart would definitely be the place.
Yeah, Walmart it was. You know, Krystle took her there, and it took Amber 3 hours to fill this thing out. You can bet that she made Krystle just wait for her there in person. The timing of her applying to jobs is also rather suspicious to me. Or rather, I guess, I just have questions. Was it Krystle's parents finally putting a proverbial foot down now that their daughter had broken up with Amber? Was Amber really even planning on getting a job while she was living there? You know, or just kind of going through the motions to appease Krystle and her parents. You know, if she really did intend on getting a job and managed to get one, what was her plan exactly? She didn't drive, so I guess she would have to have Krystle drive her there and pick her up every single time? God. Whatever the case was, she did not get any job that I'm aware of at this time. So let's just move on, shall we? Amberlynn does a Q&A about her breakup with Krystle. She tells us whether or not she would get back together with Krystle if she could. What did she say? Yes, no, or maybe. 56.1% of people said yes, 23.6% said no, and 20.3% said maybe. Let's find out.
I'm currently going through a breakup. I am getting an undeniably amount of questions. People are saying that I didn't explain very well. I compiled a bunch of questions and I wrote them down. I'm just here to be open, honest, and finally kind of explain everything that's going on in short form. Are you two getting back together? No, we're not. We are completely just over. It's way too hard to be broken up with somebody and still try to do things as if you were in a relationship. It's just not healthy. We do share a bed. She wanted you back. Would you take her back? A while ago, I would have said yes in a split second. I've had time to think and we've talked a lot. I wouldn't, neither would she. We just realized that relationship-wise, we are not meant to be. It's just something that we have to accept and move on. I realized that I didn't want to be with someone like that. I didn't want to force someone to love me. I didn't want to trap somebody. And I felt horrible for her because she told me that for a whole year she wasn't in love with me and she was trying to protect my feelings. And when she told me that, I knew right there, I cannot let her be with me. I do not want to trap her. I'm not that type of person at all. We hid it from everybody. Even when we told Krystle's parents that we broke up, they were shocked. Her dad said, "But you guys seemed fine."
While it might seem like she would have said yes, seeing as she had very, very recently posted her breakup video where she had said Krystle was her everything, you know.
Krystle really is my everything, and
you also need to remember that Amberlynn had been talking to Destiny for months at this point. She wasn't admitting that here, of course.
I feel free. I feel relieved.
And we'll get into that a bit more in the next question. But suffice it to say, Amber had someone new to give her the attention she desired. And besides, Krystle had broken up with her.
I was in this relationship thinking we'd be together forever because that's what we'd say.
How dare she? Another thing I just wanted to point out was that Amber said that they were drifting apart and nobody knew it. That is a joke, right? Because, I mean, did she really think that? It was so completely obvious that Krystle was over her and they were spending less and less time around each other. I mean, Krystle was clapping back at Amber's disrespect more and more. I know I just showed it recently, but remember this scene from a recent retro react of mine?
So bomb. Destiny, we're thinking about you. Don't, she says.
She literally slapped the camera out of her face. You know, yes, I hate the fact that Amber treated Krystle this way. But I'm also just so glad that Krystle finally found the courage to stand up for herself. It was so obvious that Krystle was over it and, you know, had been for a very long time. I think I actually need to calm down after that question. So let's go see how Mini Waffles is doing just for a moment before we finish this quiz. There she is. She always hears me say her name. You're a good girl, Mini Waffles. Nice catch. Okay. I think I can carry on. I think we can finish this quiz up. All right, next question. When did Amberlynn first admit that she was already talking to someone new? The options were May 1st, May 9th, May 20th, or June 3rd. 48.8% said May 9th, 19.5% said May 20th, 17.9% said May 1st, and 13.8% of people said June 3rd. Let's find out the answer to this question. Ugh, Amber. So gross.
What if one of you start dating other people? We are both actually talking to people right now. She's talking to a couple people. I'm talking to just one person that I have formed a really deep connection with, which was unexpected completely. I don't even know how it's happened. Of course, it's hard for the both of us, especially because Krystle started liking other people way before I even started talking to other people, and it's gonna be hard. I'm living with my ex-girlfriend, the woman that I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. So yes, it's gonna be hard, but we have to accept it and adapt to it while I'm currently here, because we are both in our 20s. We need to venture out. We can't be just in this house with each other as friends and not moving on with life. We both know we need to move on, and it's extremely important to do so.
Okay, so Amber mentioned it during her Q&A about her breakup with Krystle, which, just as a reminder regarding the timeline, okay, Krystle broke up with Amber on April 1st. That's right, April Fools. I love it. The breakup video was published to YouTube on April 15th, 2 weeks after the breakup. Okay? The Q&A in question here, that was posted on May 9th. So what is that? Just over 3 weeks between the devastation of the breakup video and the official announcement of a new relationship. Yeah, that was a real broken heart that she had, I guess.
Because I love Krystle more than I have ever loved anybody in my whole life.
Although Amber didn't mention Destiny's name on May 9th, of course we know, that's exactly who she was talking about. Another interesting thing, though, is that she also mentioned that Krystle was already, talking to multiple different people. And in my opinion, just an opinion, not a fact, I believe that Amber was waiting to announce her relationship with Destiny until Krystle had, actually started talking to other people herself, thereby making it look like Amber was the better person in this situation. Because, of course, we know that she and Destiny had been talking for months already at this point. It feels very manipulative to me. Is it true? I don't know. Not a fact, just a theory. Moving on.
It was just traumatizing, to say the least.
Just one more thing, actually. With this timeline in mind, you might want to go back and watch my side-by-side video of the Krystle and Destiny breakups. Because having the context of her relationship with Destiny in mind while you watch Amber's performance, let's call it, it just might, offer you a new perspective. All right, now let's really move on to the next question. As she got ready to move, Amber had a very specific way of packing up her necklaces. What was it? The options here were rolling them in washcloths, placing them in plastic bags, wrapping them in plastic wrap, or folding them into her socks. 69.9% of people said placing them in plastic bags. 13.8% went with folding them into her socks, which honestly isn't a bad idea. 11.4% said wrapping them in plastic wrap. 4.9% of people said rolling them in washcloths. This one's also really straightforward, so I think we can just roll the tape without a preamble.
I'm so OCD when it comes to packing. Everything has to be so perfect and put in the right spot, and it just takes me forever. That's probably why I started packing so freaking early, little bits and pieces every single day instead of doing it all a week before. I have a lot of perfume. I will show you guys in a minute. How do I pack all this perfume and body spray? I need you guys' advice, so in the comments below, can you please help me? All of this perfume, these are all my glass perfumes. And I have all these body sprays. These are all plastic. So that's what I need help with. I have no idea how I'm going to pack all this. As you guys know, I'm the jewelry queen. So what I did was I bought 4 boxes of these 76 packs of Ziploc slider bags. And I'm just going to put one necklace in each one. One necklace in each one. It makes sense to me.
The amount of waste makes me so angry. That is more plastic bags than I have used in many, many years. I couldn't even put a number to it. I actually had a whole thing that I was going to say about how wasteful she is, but you know what? I don't even think that I need to, because watching that clip has said everything we need to know. So let's just move on. Whew. Question number 10. 10 days before Destiny arrived. Ooh, we're getting close to the end here, folks. Amber told her audience about a really big life change that she wanted to make. What was that change? She wanted to start writing a book, get her driver's license, become a vegetarian, or go back to school. 42.3% of people said get her driver's license. 33.3% of people said become vegetarian. 13% went with go back to school, and 11.4% said start writing a book. All right, well, you know Amber and her really big life changes. Let's see what empty promises and false goals she had in mind this time around.
I'm thinking about making a really big change in my life. Lately, I have been studying a lot on vegetarians and the things that they can eat to get in protein. I am not really a meat person to begin with.
I get the French dip sandwich.
Chorizo.
2 of these beef and bean green chili burritos.
Don't get me wrong, I love myself some McDonald's chicken nuggets. Give me some now, please. A lot of the time, if I eat like a red meat, such as hamburger or steak, I get really sick afterwards. I don't know if it's because of my gallstones or something else. I'm the type of person that will not eat meat unless it's super cooked, like literally practically burnt. I just get creeped out with meat. I am probably one of the biggest animal lovers you will ever see in your life. It's really hard for me to watch documentaries about where our meat comes from because literally it repulses me, it sickens me, and it's just absolutely disgusting. A lot of people believe that animals were put onto this earth so us humans could eat, but I don't think I view it that way whatsoever.
And then I got a cheeseburger, Kung Pao chicken, some shredded chicken, 12-piece grilled nugget.
I really think I'm going to become a vegetarian. I've always been interested in this. I used to talk to Krystle about it all the time. She was not for me being vegetarian. I don't know what it was. She just would not allow it. I'm normally the one who compromises a little too much. I told Destiny I want to be a vegetarian and she totally supports me. So that makes me happy.
All right. A couple thoughts on this clip. One, shy Krystle era Amberlynn has officially left the chat. She hasn't even met Destiny in person yet. And look at how much her persona is already changing. Pretty wild, right? And number 2, damn Amber, it did not take long for her to start blaming Krystle for her own past behavior. It was Krystle who wouldn't allow Amber to be vegetarian?
She just would not allow it.
But Amber had really wanted to ditch meat for so long, huh? Amber was just, a victim of awful, overbearing, controlling Krystle.
I'm normally the one who compromises a little too much.
Yeah, okay. Raise your hand if you believe Krystle had anything to do with Amberlynn's meat consumption. I'll wait. No? Oh, okay. Number 3, just wanted to say that I noticed that comments were turned off on this video. Oh, and if you're wondering if, Amber stopped eating meat before meeting Destiny, well, here's what she said in the very last video before leaving Krystle's house.
As I talked about a couple videos ago, how I want to be a vegetarian. I have not yet taken the steps to do so. I do want to do as much research as possible. I'm also really stressed out and overwhelmed with all the emotions, all the packing, just the anticipation of meeting Destiny. I know completely stopping eating meat does a lot of things to your body because you're not used to it, so I don't want to add on even more stress right now. But when I do meet Destiny, I told her pretty much around that time is when I am going to try becoming vegetarian. I had someone ask me on Instagram if Destiny is a vegetarian. No, she's not. She eats meat. I'm purely doing this for myself, my own reasons. I don't know any vegetarians at all. So I had Chipotle for dinner.
While that was the last official question on this quiz, I did actually add an optional bonus question this time around. But let me tell you, I really need to power up again before we continue. So let's head to the Corgi Cam, shall we? Because I just get more and more angry with every single question we go through. Look at that little smile. Good girl, Minnie. You're very sweet and very cute. Yes, you are. That was just what I needed. Let's move on to the bonus question. Okay, so here's what the bonus question asked. What lessons, good or bad, do you think Amber took away from her time living with Krystle and her family? You know what? I gotta say, a higher percentage of people than ever before decided to offer an answer to this one. I couldn't possibly read all of the submissions on this video. It would take way too long. But what I did do was screen cap a whole bunch of them, and I'll read a few of them out loud, but otherwise, you can just kind of hit pause and read the others that I included if you want to. All right, here we go. She learned that money is power. Yeah. She learned nothing like always. She honed her manipulation tactics. I do believe that's true. I think she learned how to take advantage of the kindness of others. Yeah. There's a lot like that one, huh? To not forget to take people for granted. Ugh, gross. True, but gross. Gross, but true. How to grift good? Yeah. To buy things and avoid responsibilities. Oh, this one's good. Not applicable. She already knows everything. Some people will give you anything you want for nothing in return. Man, yeah, and you're going to take advantage of that, huh, Amber? None. Less than 3. Yeah. Nothing. She took their money. Absolutely nothing. None. Yeah. She learned nothing, nothing, nothing. Literally nothing. God. I don't know. I do think that she learned some of these negative ones, to be honest. That you can mooch off others, for sure. Sadly, had to get others to do what she wanted. Yeah. How far she can push an entire family using guilt trips. That's an interesting one. Empathy is real and can be exploited for years. Ooh. I think let's leave off on that one because ouch. For someone who doesn't have empathy but understanding that other people do, ooh, and exploiting it. And I think it's really interesting putting, these quizzes together. And I do think it is a great format for our history lessons. So let us move on to the discussion part. This one's actually not going to be that long today, but a couple more things to say before we wrap up today.
On July 2nd, Destiny is coming with her mammy. They are driving from Kentucky because Destiny will be visiting her mother in Kentucky for 4th of July. They're coming to pick me up.
Man, that Destiny era persona, it sure was starting to come out more and more as the days went on, huh? You definitely were seeing it. In fact, we were even graced with another rage at her audience before taking off from Krystle's place. She was so upset by the two people that were questioning her decision to move in with Destiny so quickly. Like, these people were showing her concern, They had actual concern for Amber, asking her to stop and just think about her actions before, rushing into this person that she had just met online. That is something I would say to someone I cared about. Just stop and think.
Something else I wanted to just talk about is, as you guys know, I am moving in with Destiny. There's 2 of you maybe who are kind of a little negative about the situation. Makes me confused. Why would you be negative over something that's super exciting for me? I'm really excited for this move. It's really gonna help me just grow as a person. I know I'm gonna be happier. I found someone I truly like. I don't want anyone to take that away from me. I understand everyone has their own opinion. They're gonna sit there and share it. That's kind of what YouTube comments are for. I just feel like to blatantly tell me that this is not going to work out is kind of rude and very immature. I have such high hopes for this to work out. If it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean you can sit there and be like, told you so. Like, to gamble on someone's life like that, especially something very scary and very new, it's kind of weird. It's also a tad bit disrespectful. I don't know how someone could really sit there and be like, I know this is not gonna work out. How do you know? This is taking a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of work. We're not just going into this completely blind. Just please refrain from just being so negative.
Amber can't deal with even just this small amount of concern from people. How dare they question her? That's what we got out of that one.
Told you so.
But in any case, that brings me to today's reminder. Today's reminder: history repeats itself, especially when behavior is left unchecked. Whew, it's been an episode today, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you want to participate in the next Gorl Games, and look out for the announcement on my community tab. That's where I post all the links to the quizzes. If you wouldn't mind helping me out with a like, a share, or a comment down below, it really helps a small channel like this one. And if you want to support this channel even more, you can become a channel member. I am so grateful for my members and their support. It really allows me to keep this channel going, honestly. In fact, you know what? Today's shout out goes to these fine folks on screen right now who have been members for 3 months or longer. Thank you so, so much. All right. I'll leave a couple of videos on screen if you'd like to continue watching. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Krystle, shake that laffy taffy.